Hey there, everyone. Am I banned from the internet yet? Um, hey, it's Billy. So, so one of my sisters has vanished from the face of the earth. Cynthia. Don't know what. I don't have her phone number. I don't have her email address. Doesn't have a Facebook. I tried to follow her friend on Twitter and see if she knows something. And well, man, at least I know where my other sisters are. Um, and yeah. And yeah, I'm kind of fucked up. No nicotine today. No coffee yesterday. No coffee yesterday. Yeah, I'm like a corpse or something. Great. Yeah, so we're living in a giant, huge shithole. Shout out to Girl Team. We're living in a giant, huge shithole. I've been complaining about that a lot, actually. Got all these skyscrapers all around, and the whole bucket, all the skyscrapers all around. We have an inflation-backed middle class, is what I hear. That an employer gets a full income-size tax credit in exchange for hiring someone with a college degree. So imagine you get your college degree, and then the government fully reimburses every penny of your salary for your whole life, and your type of life. You're not getting money from a sale of a product to a customer. Like if you write code. Say you want to write code and sell a product, like make a video game. That's probably more than 99% of software sales. Make a video game, because I write code. Well, how many people have a computer science degree? I heard 600,000 graduates just this year. What is their salary? I don't even know, like about 100,000 or something. What's $100,000 times 600,000 people? But that's only 1 year of graduates, so I'm actually counting up, like, I don't know, a whole decade of graduates. Can we do that? Let's see. 600,000 graduates, 100,000 salary. What's 600 to 100? 60,000. And 1,000. So 60,000. 60 trillion. Did I do that right? 600,000 graduates just this year. 100,000 salary. Yeah. 60 trillion, but that's only for 1 year. So a whole decade of graduates. 600 trillion. Okay, so we have what? 300 million Americans. $600 trillion. I'm doing something wrong. Let me see. I meant billion, didn't I? Let me think. Yeah, I was that. Only 600 billion. Okay. No, yeah, that's it. Okay, 10 years of graduates at the current rate that I heard on the internet, assuming 100,000 salary, to pay them all, only for the ones getting a computer science degree, we're going to need $60 billion. So 300 million Americans estimate or something, it's like 330 million or whatever the hell. So that's $2,000 per person if everyone paid into the bucket of funding these salaries to happen. I still feel like I'm counting wrong. I'm really counting wrong? I don't think I'm counting wrong. Okay, so then like a family of four would have to expend on average $8,000 annually on video games to fund that, and that's assuming Boss Team takes a zero cut. I think the cut for Boss Team, like the CEOs and executives and all the important people, they get like what, a 90% cut or 80% cut of all the total money, something phenomenal. This is just talking about paying the little people, like with the little degree. Okay, but so an average of $8,000 annually. I still think maybe a family of four to be purchasing video games, wrap up your PlayStation games, put it on the Christmas tree. But I'm doing these with the assumption that, with the thing I said before, that more than 99% of software sales are video games. But anyway, no, we really have an inflation-backed middle class and nobody's doing anything. Nobody's doing shit. I complain about that a lot. Like, imagine you encounter a guy with like a 8-year PhD in computer science and be like, okay, to show me how to make Tetris, a little less than 1 hour long programming project, like, a fucking 12-year-old could do it. He probably literally can't make Tetris. And he probably literally can't make Tetris. The average guy with a PhD in computer science. Not even a joke. I mean, the school was never real. School, nothing about school. But we learned that in like kindergarten. We learned it for our whole life that school is not real. Like, imagine if I was explaining math and physics on YouTube to like everyone in America or everyone on YouTube, but you know, the whole planet, just explaining. But all of it from like K through 12, anything they might bring up for the whole curriculum. And how many lessons would it be, or how many total hours of video? Like, let me think. I don't know, like 2 hours. Like, okay, you start, say only math and physics, trying to get science done, build stuff, skip art class, I'm not going to explain how to draw a puppy on YouTube, but yeah, I mean, art class isn't bad. Really, band class is the best class. Kind of off topic. Okay. So what was I saying? Okay, start with like counting, here's, this is 1 apple, 2 apples, 3 apples, and you continue until you go to like, maybe a little bit of physics and, Mr. Whimpers, he's on a train. The train is going 10 miles per hour and blah, 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 blah. But you, do a little XY coordinate system, a little bit of geometry. You cover everything. I don't think I could stretch it out to 2 hours of total content, starting all the way back to kindergarten and go through everything. Like, could I even talk for 2 hours and, try to cover every topic that will be presented in school? Put all the examples again. Mr. Whimper has read his book, 9 pages a day for, the past 3 weeks. How many pages did he read? Just anything you can think of, put all the examples, all the, how many watermelons can you fit in the shopping cart? I think that's a real question. Well, yeah, there's that. So none of this is real. See these skyscrapers over there? See, girl team wanted to have a son and a grandson, and what those guys are going to do, they're going to shave, they're going to get a haircut, they're going to put on a suit and tie, they're going to go through intense, painful, boring, grueling studying and tears and studying and more tears, and it'll be painful, but they're real men who love their family and need the money to support their family. And then they went through the pain, and then they said, "This is how much I love you, son. I'm bringing home the bacon." And then they go to the big, huge skyscraper, and where some stuff supposedly happens. Like, if your degree was computer science, I suppose you're being the 1 billionth guy to remake Tetris all over again, and then magically try to sell it to the imaginary customer who isn't there, or whatever the hell you're doing in the office instead of doing it at home. You can just have to do it in the man office, You get the bedroom from your house, and tell your wife, "Hey, that's not a man cave. Look," and you have Exhibit A, the Epson printer on the desk, But hey, it makes more sense to do it there, to be honest. What was I saying? But no, girl team, they hate everyone, and so we did what they wanted. We did what they wanted. See how we have a little tiny itty bitty park in Dallas, and then like whatever the hell this is, and whatever the hell this is. We could have had a bigger park and like more trees and flowers. Flowers are good. We could have a universal basic income, which doesn't work and doesn't make sense, but a little bit, like maybe 10% of what is considered the poverty line, which would be like what, $1,100 or something, like that's for the whole year, like maybe barely higher than 10%. You can't do it at the poverty, because that's always a suggestion. The first thing to say, well, let's put it at the poverty line. That's going to deter too many people from being at work. We need the people to go to work. But what would be nice is if they all stop pretending. Like, can we get 1%, 2%, 3% more people at work, and then the people at work could just get paid better, so then they'll do less years of service, so that like the guy who's like the greeter at Walmart, who's like 800 years old, he wanted to retire a long time ago, but he can't. Well, what if you get paid a little better, and then these guys, wearing their tie and like just fake it forever, and maybe one day it'll be real. What if they just go fucking get a fucking job, and so that guy who retired earlier could actually retire earlier? I don't know. I think they're going for like pain for pain's sake. Like, oh look, the construction workers picked up their hammer and built the home, but the home now will last for centuries. And Grandpa built the home. Grandpa went through the pain. He was bringing home the bacon, and now I want my son and my grandson to also go through the pain for for the sake of the pain itself, you know, I suspect he won't like to study. So that's why he should. But none of it's real. I think it's very pertinent information that none of it's real. And whoever really knows stuff is always eager to teach and share and explain for free and has no interest in playing school. That's also worth noting. I think they want to like hijack the planet or buy it, or I don't really get the game. Like, the people who build the planet are good people. I don't need to save the world by like playing capitalism and get $1 trillion for myself and buy the planet, because the people who built the planet did a good job, with a few exceptions, like when they finally concede that they have no choice but to do what the girls want. And then I'm just like, what the hell, Grandpa? What the hell? And then what am I doing? You know what I'm doing? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm doing what the girls want. You know what? This right here today, me being angry and going insane, that's basically what the girls expect of me, what they beg for. But I'm a schizophrenic. So, but that's obvious. So, Grandpa did what the girls want. Now here's me doing what the girls want. Doing what the girl, you know, that girl in the John Wick movie with the 2 dogs, that's Christina Lee. You know, the girl that was on PlayStation Pulse on Sony News a long time ago. Okay, it's not like literally Christina Lee. She's not the actress, but that's Christina Lee. I thought it was on topic. As soon as I said I'm a schizophrenic. Well, because that's what you learn when you're a schizophrenic, that every person on the whole planet is actually talking to you. Like, you're watching a movie and you're like, I know who you are. But then the next question is, if that's who she is, why is she talking to me? Now, long story. Story about Microsoft and Will and how I can still do it and they still can't. To be fair, they're losing on purpose. As I state, they the people who built the planet are not actually bad people. They think this is a game. They're playing both sides.